So, vertigo is the incorrect perception that you or the room around you is moving. Most people tend to describe that as a rocking sensation, the room is spinning around them is the most common one though. That is a little bit different than dizziness itself. Dizziness is sort of an umbrella term for a lot of different sensations. They get described to me like a head rush, or I have a water balloon in my head, or cotton candy head are kind of the interesting ones I get. And then there's also the spinning. And so the job of a person who specializes in vestibular disorders and dizziness is to kind of tease apart what the difference is and what the symptoms you're actually having. So some people do have vertigo, and vertigo is a symptom, not a diagnosis. And some people have dizziness, which is a little bit different. Sometimes you can have both, but not always. Necessarily. So vertigo can feel more serious than dizziness. Some dizziness can be benign, but some vertigo can also be benign. So we have one diagnosis, which is the most common form of vertigo, which is benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, and shortened to BPPV is what we usually call it. And that, although it can cause some lightheadedness and dizziness, it mostly just causes vertigo with positional changes. So you go to bed at night, you lay down, and the room spins for 15 seconds, and then it won't spin again until you change positions. And that's one kind of vertigo, but it's usually pretty simple to fix as long as you get to the right provider. Other people who have vertigo might have Meniere's disease or a vestibular migraine, something like that. And that is a little bit more difficult and complex to take care of, but it can be managed. So the root cause of vertigo is really dependent on the diagnosis behind it. So a lot of the job of myself and your medical providers is to decide what it is that is causing the vertigo. So yeah, sometimes you can get dizziness due to allergies. That is something that I can see in the clinic. However, most vertigo is coming from BPPV, which we have found some triggers are high blood pressure, low vitamin D. If you've undergone chemotherapy, that can be a trigger. So there are those kinds of triggers on one side. And on the other side, a trigger for something like vestibular migraine might be a food trigger, maybe dehydration, overly stress and anxiety. Everyone has a threshold that might cause a migraine episode, which can cause vertigo. So again, there's sort of that difference between people who have different kinds of vertigo.